the Education Act, Section 11, certain educational interests to be protected in schemes, where the minister makes in relation to an endowed educational institution any scheme which abolishes or modifies any privileges or educational advantages to which a particular class of persons is entitled, whether as inhabitants of a particular district or otherwise, the minister shall in such scheme have regard to the educational interests of such class of persons. Okay, so this seems to be saying that if an educational institution that is supported financially by the Ministry of Education seems to discriminate against any class of persons, then the Minister of Education would intervene in such a situation. All right. Section 12, when scheme requires assent of governing body, a scheme shall not be made under this act interfering with the governing body of any endowed, that's financially supported, educational institution, if such governing body is subject to the jurisdiction of the governing body of any religious denomination, unless the governing body of such educational institution assent to the scheme. We have some religious schools, that's the governing body of the religious denomination, right? So in that case, what it's saying, it seems like the minister wouldn't interfere unless a scheme shall not be made under this act interfering with the governing body of any endowed, financially supported church school, unless the governing body of such educational institution assents to the scheme. All right. Section 13, procedure with regards to schemes. Subsection 1. A draft of every scheme proposed to be made under this act shall be prepared by such persons and in such manner as the minister directs, and shall be published in the Gazette, together with a notice that any person interested in any endowment or educational institution affected by the scheme may, if he desires to make any objections to the scheme, send his objections in writing to the minister within 2 months from the date of such publication. So, in this case, a draft of every scheme proposed to be made under this act. So if the Minister of Education, or if the management, or if a school is going to be established and there's a list of persons to be appointed to the board, and that draft, that list of names, shall be prepared by such persons and in such manner as the minister directs. Okay. And shall be published in the Gazette together with a notice that any person interested in any endowment, that means any of them, interested in government support for that school, in any endowment or educational institution affected by the scheme, if he desires to make any objection to the scheme. So it seems as if someone can actually object to whether the persons being appointed or their plans or whatever it is, to send his objection in writing to the minister of it. Well, they would write to the ministry within 2 months from the date of such publication. All right. Subsection 2. The minister shall consider every objection sent to him pursuant to the provisions of this section, and thereafter may by order approve the scheme with which such modifications, if any, and may appear to him to be necessary, as from the date as he shall specify in the order of the scheme, shall have effect accordingly. Subsection 3. Every such order approving a scheme made under Section 10 shall be subject to affirmative resolution, and when submitted to each chamber of the legislature shall be accompanied by the scheme. Subsection 4. The minister shall cause a copy of every scheme approved under this act to be recorded in the record office. So they have a copy of every board of management of every educational institution, that's public educational institution. We look at subsection 15 in our next video.